Like in this day and age with all the bloggers and social media and stuff like that, like, do you feel like you're under even a bigger microscope than ever before?
Honestly, I don't know, because I don't really, that's a hard question to answer too, because I honestly don't really pay attention to that part of it. Like, I don't sit on a computer.
You don't tweet, Em?
I tweet.
Okay.
Oh, I get my tweet on.
Oh, you get your tweet on.
Nah, I don't really follow that stuff, man.
Right.
I just, you know, I just want to say this. I just rap. And I want to keep saying that because it's all I do. I actually don't want to keep saying that, but that is all I do.
That's all
so
you do.
to just keep giving the same answer, it's really all I do.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So
right.
I don't even shower. So
I hope you do, man. I hope, yeah.
Yeah, I don't.
No problem.
I did today.
Thank you.
Because I knew that we were doing this interview.
I appreciate
but normally,
that. Much appreciation. Much love, bro.
Absolutely.
Already.
Yeah.
So on this Marshall Mathers LP2, one of the highly anticipated collaborations was with Kendrick. You know, Kendrick let that Control verse go, and lots of people, he kind of lit a fire in the lyrics again for a lot of people. Did you feel any fun-loving competition, or did it make you feel like you had to come any extra harder for this Kendrick track, knowing that what he did to other people on their other song more recently?
First of all, I just want to say this. I love what Kendrick is doing.
Right.
And he's making it, he's continuing the tradition of just making rap exciting.
Right.
You know? And what he did with the Control verse is incredible, but we had actually did that song before he did that verse.
Oh, okay.
You know, I just loved what he did on his album.
Right.
And I felt like, man, he's an Aftermath artist too, you know, and it just felt like it was something that we should do.
Right.
You know? But absolutely, there's always going to be competitive aspect, man, and that's why with his verse, the Control verse, he didn't say anything that every other MC wasn't already thinking. You know,
he was bold enough to say it.
He said it.
Right.
He said it, and it's great. It's what makes hip hop. You know.
Definitely, indeed. Lots of people have speculated that this could be your last album. You call yourself the rap god. That's kind of like, I'm kind of finished. I got this. I'm the god. It's nothing else to say. Is that possible?
I don't know what I'm doing tomorrow.
But
so,
I know that you rap, though.
Obviously not showering. But, yeah, nah, I don't know, man. I think I would say this. I want to rap until it's not fun anymore. So, yeah, I quit.
It's not fun anymore?
Nah. Nah, I want to rap until it's not fun anymore. And then, you know, outside of rap and when I do set the mic down, I feel like I want to have something to do with the music. So producing or whatever it is, you know, I still want to be involved.
Answer the criticism that Eminem is way too successful or way too sober to be as successful as Eminem used to be.
Answer that?
Yeah.
Off.
That's how you feel?
I don't know, man. Maybe that's true. Maybe it's not. I don't know. The truth is, I really don't care. Like, I just rap. I just do music. I don't think about or care about when I'm recording how big I am or who this song is gonna affect and this song is gonna hit and you know what I'm saying? Like I just go in and I record. I write what comes to mind. And, you know, messing around with words is always fun for me. So it's like just different wordplay and things, you know, it's like, to me, it's like, I've said this before, but it's like words are kind of like puzzles to me and I'm trying to figure them out. And,
right.
But yeah, as far as how big I am or was or could be or will be or won't be, that is what it is, man. I'm happy to be here and I'm happy that to still be able to have people hear my music and that's it.
I developed the flow from so many other different artists. Like I was inspired by I would have to say like early on LL, Beastie Boys, Run DMC, then it became, you know, and Rakim, and then it kind of started going into maybe Cool G Rap, KRS-One, Tretch from Naughty by Nature. So I had you know, I was a student of hip hop, so it was like I watched, I studied what everybody did in the game, and just, you know, try to develop my own kind of sound. And it took me a long time to get, but you know, I just kind of watched what everybody was doing, was kind of just a sponge and soaked up everything. I think my #1 goal getting into hip hop would be just to get the respect from other MCs. That's kind of what I rap for. I was very into the technical part of MCing and wanted to get, you know, the respect from my peers, whatever. And I think that that's probably pretty much the same thing that I do it for today, you know. I don't think that my goal has changed in the sense of, you know, from this, I rap from the same aspect of when I was a kid. Like, I just wanted to get the respect. I just wanted to get a reaction out of people. I just wanted to be heard, and I wanted people to respect what I do and respect the fact that I respect the craft. You know what I mean? Of MCing. So I really just it's pretty much the same thing today. I don't know what would be my strongest contribution to the game, and as far as like my legacy, I feel like I don't know what it would be right now because I'm still going, you know. So I mean, if I was asked this question a few years ago, it might have been different, you know. It's always going to be different. I don't know what it is exactly that, you know, my legacy would be or whatever, but I think that if I had to choose what I'd like to be remembered as, I think maybe just somebody who stood up for what they believed in as far as freedom of speech, and don't, you know, don't back down, don't take shit from nobody, and just, you know, just do you. How do I think my music has influenced the culture? I don't know. I mean, hopefully people could look at, I guess, my career and see how I came up or whatever, and you know the story and know everything, and maybe, you know, if anything, get inspired from it. Well, I definitely think that people have seen me push boundaries, and maybe, you know, some people get inspired to do the same thing, but I got that from other people. You know what I mean? Like, hip hop has always been about seeing and feeding off of, you know, getting inspired from other MCs in the game, and, you know, everybody gets inspired from everybody, you know, and like I saw Dre do it, you know what I'm saying, and NWA, and the way that they push boundaries, and it was kind of like, you know, it's every few years there'll be certain rappers that'll come along and do that, and, you know, some tend to do it better than others or push it further than others. What I would look for in the next generation of MCs would be the same thing that I look for, that I've always looked for, is whenever I hear somebody, I want to hear, you know, the technical aspect of it. And obviously, if you can write hooks and things like that, that's cool. But I listen to, I'm more from the technical aspect, in the sense of how you ride the beat, your delivery, punchlines, syllables, like compound syllables, how you put that together, and how good you are at that, and how you could, how you can take words and flip them, and, you know, just wordplay and things like that. At Shady, I think, is just rebuilding Shady as a label, you know, and trying to, you know, we got a couple of groups that we're signing right now, so, you know, we're just kind of in a rebuilding process, and anything as far as that is just, you know, I'm still in the studio working on music and things like that. Acting, I want to say yes, there will be. I just haven't had a script that's like really jumped out yet, but, you know, I'm in the process of looking through that too. So, well, I think the online world is giving, you know, up and coming MCs a presence, more of a presence. You know, I think that it's just easier to get your music heard now. You know, whereas before you had to, you would have to go to a record store and try to get them to sell your record and push it, or go to a radio station and really try to, you know, get them to play your songs on the radio or whatever. And now it's kind of just you put it out there, and you know, millions of people are able to have access to it, you know, and you can just get it to more people quicker. So definitely think it's helped. Who do I think is the most controversial rapper of this generation? Me. Nah. There's controversy has been part of hip hop for so long, man. It's, you know, from the beginning of hip hop, I feel like it's been filled with controversy. So I think that I think of this generation or whatever, I mean, you know, I've had controversy, 50's had controversy, Wayne's had controversy, Kanye's had controversy. I mean, I don't know, everybody, you know, it's all different kinds and at different times, you know what I mean? But I think that's part of hip hop. The most out of us, I don't know, man. It's, you know, Kanye may do something tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh my God. So it, you know, flip flops.
And it just felt like, I mean, the beat was so dark. It just made me, I don't know, the first words came to mind, the horror corridor thing, and I don't know, I just blacked out and just wrote it.
It's 3 a.m. in the morning, put my key in the door, and bodies laying all over the floor, and I don't remember how they got there, but I guess I must have killed them.
What about the album title then, Relapse? Is it something that you fear that you've been down in a dark valley in a way and now you're back? Or how is it?
I mean, yeah, you could look at it like that. I mean, the way that I look at it more than anything is, I guess a kind of a double entendre, you know, like relapsing in the literal sense, which I've done, and relapsing back to what first, I guess, made me famous. You know, the first 2 records, like the Slim Shady LP and the Marshall Mathers LP. I kind of wanted to take it back to those days. Well, definitely it was a new start. You know, I feel like I almost feel like I'm reintroducing myself to the world. You know, like, you know, this is, I mean, I got a second win. It's kind of what I feel like right now. You know, refreshed.
How self-assured were you that you still had it, if you understand what I mean, when you started working on the album? Did you know that I'm going to do this, it's going to be fine, or did you have your doubts?
Yeah, I definitely had my doubts. I mean, I went through 3 or 4 years of having my doubts. Like if I, you know, there was a point in time where I didn't know if I had it at all anymore. I had a pretty bad case of writer's block, and I would try to put my thoughts down on paper, and it just wasn't the same. You know, nothing I did was like, felt like, you know, the earlier magic that I used to have. You know what I mean? It just felt like it was kind of gone. And by getting sober and, you know, my mind clearing up, you know, and just me being able to think again and function normally again, everything just kind of felt like it was coming back, you know?
Masses in the stands. Shady man, no, don't massacre the fans. Damn, I think Kim Kardashian's a man. She stopped him just because he asked to put his hands.
When I came out of rehab in 2005, I wasn't really ready to get clean. Like I kind of knew it in the back of my mind. You know, everyone else was, it felt like everyone was ready for me to, but I wasn't. So, you know, relapsed and started taking Vicodin, started with the Vicodin again, and then started with the Valium again, and then the Valium wasn't strong enough. You know, first I would start with, I would go from Vicodin, and then I'm having trouble sleeping at night, so let me take some NyQuil. And then the next day or 2 days, NyQuil's not strong enough, so I need to go to the doctors. I need another prescription. I need Valium. You know, now I gotta call my dope dealer. You know what I mean? Like, so started, you know, I would start back with the NyQuil was a big trigger, and then Valium, and then the Valium wasn't strong enough, so now I need Ambien, and now I need this, you know, to sleep every single night. I can't go to sleep without it. And then your tolerance gets higher and higher the more you do, and then you lose your best friend, and everything from that point on is just like, fuck it. You know, you just, it kind of was an excuse in my head for me to use more, to take more, because this just happened. So it's okay to take this much. And then your tolerance gets so high that, you know, you end up overdosing. You know what I mean? And then everything from that moment, it just, you know, you got to make a decision. Like, what do you want to do with your life? You know? I mean, I relapsed twice. I relapsed once when I came home from rehab, and then was, you know, spiraled, and then relapsed after my overdose. I relapsed again, you know, and just came to the point in my head where I was just like, I can't keep doing this. It's gonna happen again if I don't. You know what I mean? So basically made the decision, like, I wanna